Warning. The content in this podcast contains some explicit language which may be offensive to some listeners and may be inappropriate for children. Therefore, the content in this podcast is intended for a mature audience only.
So, when'd you fall in love with hip-hop? Right here, what we're gonna do is go back.
This is Mocha T. This is Capri.
This is Mika.
And this is Dante.
And we have a special guest with us. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Coach Melvin. I am a Herbalife nutritionist coach, so I'm here to join these ladies and see what they got to talk about tonight.
We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, Melvin, so go on and drink up.
He only has wine, y'all. It's Moscato.
We're not, we ain't going to break them in like that.
Yeah, we won't do that.
Not today.
Some people we do, though. We actually take shots and they be like, by
right
the end of it, they be like, whoo.
Broke right in.
How long this last?
Yeah. They don't never even know.
Just be talking.
Yes.
They ain't even thought 2 seconds about it. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow is our big day.
Yes.
We do the podcast live. You should come see us tomorrow.
Where is that?
At Ice Event Center.
Okay.
It starts at 7. We will do a meet and greet from 7 to 7:30, and then record. I'm gonna assume till about 9-ish.
Yeah, about 9-ish.
Yeah, probably. Because with the crowd involved, I think it'll go a little bit longer than we normally.
So y'all gonna do Q&A and all that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's gonna be dope.
Come bring you some questions.
Dope.
Yes.
We're gonna even have a little suggestion box, so if you ain't comfortable, you got a question to ask, and you ain't comfortable asking out loud, you can go and throw it in the box.
I'm comfortable.
Throw it in the bag. Give us some questions. So, we've had a pretty busy weekend. All of us have.
Yeah.
Mika's tired from the babies yesterday.
I am. They woke
She
my ass
babysat.
out. Y'all remember I said I was baby Amy. They asked what my ass out last night. Woo!
You have a small child, right?
I do.
How
baby?
old?
He's 18 months.
Okay.
Ooh, bless your
That
heart.
is a small. Ooh,
He's
yeah.
small. And then your daughter.
My daughter is 4 going on 40.
Oh, he still got young ones.
Okay. Yeah.
You got a little
I started
baby.
late.
Little baby.
I started real late.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Ain't
nothing
Man,
wrong
I don't think my patience would have lasted if I was 21 having kids.
You would have had to grow up and you would have had to
You know what?
grow some patience.
As crazy as this sounds, when I heard these stories about the women strangling and shaking the mess out of their kids, if you ain't in your right mind, I can see how that can happen.
Because postpartum
Because-
depression is real.
Yeah, it's serious.
Yeah.
It's
Because
real.
kids get in their space where
Yeah.
you
You being have it
sometimes...
that you know of?
I felt like I had it because
I
for the
don't know. I don't
first
see why
year
you
of
think-
my daughter's life, I was there like every single day because I was in school. So I only went to school like 3 hours out the day, and the remainder of the day I was with my daughter. And man, it was days I look in the mirror and be like, boy, if you don't smoke or drink, it's by the time you start. 'Cause, this is real. I kid you not, I called my sister. My sister has 4 kids. And I used to be on her all the time. Oh, you just being lazy. Oh, you need to quit doing that. I called her. I said, you know what? I apologize. I said,
Exactly.
because
See, that's what's up.
this is real.
Yeah.
I said, I only got 1 and you got 4. This is real.
Yeah.
Real.
It
But-
is real.
Yeah, people don't understand. So
Shout out to all the single women out there raising kids by yourself.
I don't. So it's so
For
funny
real.
because I always say that like people with no kids have no idea what it's like, and then they have this. Because we all did it. You have this mindset of what you think is gonna be like, but it's nothing like what you think is going to be like. And then you have 1 kid, and that don't qualify you for anybody that come after them because everybody is different.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
was 18 when I had my daughter. I don't know if you remember, but I was pregnant at Douglas. But my mom used to live here, and so the couch would sit right here, and I would literally sit on that couch facing the front door with this baby, waiting on my mama to get home so she could help me.
You just scroll.
Right
You don't
here,
know what to
like,
do.
what time is it? Like, she didn't hurt me.
Now, the kicker is, I remember going to the mall before I had kids, and you would see parents walking around with their kids, and their kids just screaming and hollering, and the parent just like in a whole different world, not listening, not saying nothing.
Right.
And you like, if you don't tell your child, what? Look at this parent, look at that, blah, blah, blah. until you have kids of your own and you learn how to block them out, it makes sense now.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to ignore them.
You gotta ignore them.
A lot of
Or you
times.
gonna just snatch them up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes you can't tell a child to shut up or shut the fuck up
Yeah.
enough. Like you and hold on. We was out yesterday because we went to that concert after we left here, and Legend was climbing on top of something, and I told him to get down, and my cousin said, "So I could tell the struggle." She said you was stuck between the black mama and the white mama. You didn't know which mama you wanted to be in that moment. She said, but I could just see that you was struggling.
When
like
you're around white people?
Yes.
So you have
It's
to kind
hard.
of pick and choose. But if it's black people,
Okay, you just get that look.
if you're around black people, you're going to go on
You
ahead
can
and
say
Yeah,
whatever
you
you need to
gotta
say,
do
but
something
since
black
it was so many white people around, I had to kind of control what I was trying to say
Exactly.
and tailor that so it don't come off like I just beat the shit out of my kids, you know. But it was just one of the moments because he just kept like, and it wasn't like, y'all know Legend.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, get down from there, get down from there, get down from there,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
Like,
it was trying to come out.
Yeah.
And she like,
Okay.
Bring it back.
Bring
so
it back in.
that's funny. So did y'all see that video? I sent y'all that video of that little boy
Yes.
that was on that airplane with his mama on an 8-hour flight from Germany, flying all the way back to the States. And they said that baby hollered
8 hours.
for 8 hours.
entire time.
The entire time for the entire
Something
flight.
had to be wrong with that baby.
He did. They said that he had like
Something
behavioral problems.
Baby, how do you have behavioral
No,
problems at
it's
2?
more
He
than
was
That's what they. But he was he
For
too?
8 hours?
He was like
They said
2.
they said that my mama was unbothered really too.
Yeah, that he just
Like,
kind of
She blocked him out a long time ago.
Yeah.
But okay.
8 hours,
But if
though?
you
8 hours.
But they said he didn't. Okay, so maybe he didn't like scream and holler the whole 8 hours.
They said
But he
did,
said he
though.
got down. He was running all over the place.
he wasn't in the chair.
He wasn't, and he wouldn't sit down. It's basically almost kind of like they were saying she couldn't control.
So
it.
as a
She
parent,
couldn't.
do you take your kid on a trip like that, knowing that they're gonna do that?
If you
Like,
had a
if
kid,
you don't
I'm
have a
pretty sure that was
choice.
not the first time. Yeah, you better on them type of things. You better take
No.
an extra 2 or 3 days.
It
and
depends,
drive.
because my daughter
you can't
first time
drive
getting on
from
the
Germany
flight.
to the United States.
She should have did something different. Though.
Know what you
She
do?
can't drive from
Hold on,
Germany to-
right?
She could drive, but what she should have did is something different.
But what you
What
probably
can she
should
What
do
can she
different,
do if it
though?
was a
Right, if
family
it's,
crisis?
if
She
you
got to
get
over
from
there.
Germany to the United States, it's a family crisis, and you have to get here.
you don't know what keeps them quiet,
but
like
I-
graham
no,
crackers.
I
No, you
experienced
probably
it,
put
though.
your some melon. You better put your baby on some
Exactly,
melatonin
melatonin.
before you
NyQuil.
get right.
Benadryl.
Benadryl
Go to sleep.
before you get on that plane.
Yeah.
You know your kids, and I know that sounds horrible, and people think like, but if you have kids, then you know your kid. So like,
She knew
you
he
know
was gonna
whether or
do
not
that.
your kid
Yeah,
can
she
make
did.
it on an 8-hour flight.
In her defense, my daughter first time being on a flight, I was like, "Oh, this is great. She's gonna be quiet. She just sit there, listen to her iPad." And then 2 flights later, she ate the damn food.
But how
So,
long though?
It wasn't long, but she didn't act like she ate that first time on that flight. And I think it was, as they get older and they know that they can get away with more stuff, then they take that leap. And they, especially if they smart enough to know, we in front of all these people. You ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
I be
That's
took
true.
that baby in the bathroom
But you can,
and grab peaches.
That don't always work though.
right?
My kids, I don't know, because my kids ain't never.
Especially
did
when
that.
they know you're in public and it's like, okay, what you gonna do?
Baby,
My
I
kids
didn't
ain't
have.
never acted
Let
like
me
that,
tell
though.
you what had happened to me. I didn't pinch my baby, and he didn't start hollering, and he's the one because Anaya would stop, but baby, he didn't start hollering louder. And I have a niece that you can't tell her once she starts crying, you can't tell her to stop crying. You just gotta let her cry it out.
See,
Because at that point, like, you can't, she won't stop. I don't care. You can hit her, beat her.
She
What
gonna
you
get
gonna end
louder.
up doing is abusing her
Yeah.
to get her to stop. She don't stop. Like, ain't no way to get her to stop.
girl.
And some kids are like that.
Yeah.
But they
God
out
knew
there.
who to place what kids with who. Because I would have been the one, they would have walked me out, because baby, I would have been like, come here. My kids, they know that whole look. Come here. Girl, I walked in the house yesterday, girl, and my mama's house, girl, and I told Jayden she could not put that wax stuff in her hair. I walked in her and that baby's ponytail was blue. Nick, girl, I looked at her and my mom at the same. Girl, you should have seen her eyes. Girl, I said, Mama said, we'll wash it out. I can already tell that she finished. She don't whoop me. I know you didn't. Mom, and I know you didn't do it after I told you to. Girl, I could have snatch, girl. I used to snatch them up. I don't care where we at.
See, this people the white people scared of.
Right.
With my kids, I did not have to. If I give them a look, my kids will be straight.
Oh, baby. Legend wasn't
Girl.
that kid. Now, Naya has always been that one. But he taught me something about personalities, and he done made me have to start, like, praying, like, so what's gonna work, what ain't gonna work. You know, you see white people doing weird stuff, and I didn't believe in putting kids on leashes till I had him. And I
hate that.
Bro, I did nothing, and I was like, you know, when we went to New York and all the moving around we was doing, I was like, you know, and I was like, you know, because we didn't take him. So everybody's like, why you didn't take him? I said, baby, we would have lost him. Yeah. Because he's the kid, literally, he will do stuff like jump on the subway and trying to jump back out the doors and closed, and we like, like, get my baby. I'm chasing the subway, trying to catch the subway because my baby didn't play too much. Because he played too much like that.
Can you tell the difference between having a boy and a girl, personality-wise, or is he too young?
Well, he's in the following stage right now, so he follows anything his sister does.
Oh, okay.
She's a leader. She's a Virgo, so she's strong-minded on everything she does.
Know that.
Right.
So she did.
He is too.
Are
His
you?
birthday's the day after mine, I think. The
Shut
first.
up.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, you know, she thinks she's running everything right now, so I can't tell the difference. Once he get into his little personality, then we'll see how he go.
Oh, okay.
He gonna have that, yeah.
Because every child is different, for sure.
Every single one.
Yeah, every
And you have to discipline them differently, too.
Yeah, because what worked for one don't work for the other. But it ain't till you have them that you be like, all right. So I looked at that woman on that flight, and I was like, and they was like, and she didn't buzz. She just let him, baby. She was like, she checked out.
She
probably
checked
as soon
out
as they
30
got
minutes
off.
into the flight.
Yeah, she was already gone.
But I tell people that, like, I can hear a lot of noise around me, but won't hear the noise.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to tuning my kids out or whatever, and it's like, loud noises don't bother me.
I don't know about that, because when we came back from Miami, I told y'all that baby was right in front of me, and I was like, the mom and daddy was like sitting there, and the baby was, the daddy, is he gonna help? Like, help. I was just sitting out. Finally, he got her, girl, and she finally went to sleep. I was looking at the mom, but the mama, y'all seen that mama couldn't control that baby on the flight we was on. She was just running around. I was like, please don't let this flight
You talking
be
about
like
like Iranian type looking people?
No, that was like
You remember
Hispanic
that was
or
a
something.
Hispanic.
But
the
she
little
was
girl
standing with that
kept
little
running
girl that
through,
kept running on
and
from
she just
her.
kept on chasing her. You remember?
Oh, girl, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. I didn't pay no attention.
No.
She toned out.
I'm
Yeah.
talking it out. It doesn't matter.
But see me, I can't tone everything
I
out.
can't tone everything out.
But I do sometimes. I find myself like in a space and people be talking to me and they be telling me something and I'll be like, "So wait, what did you just say?"
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, we do.
You got a question for us today?
Yeah. No, I don't.
You don't?
Why did you say yeah?
Because I thought of one, but I feel like it's part of the subject. So should I
Okay.
ask the question still? Y'all want me to ask it
Go
anyway?
ahead. Yeah.
So, when women, so in regards to like women, so we're talking about body, so we're going to start talking about like body image.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that a woman, the way a woman views herself, either of y'all, a woman views herself affects the way her sexual life is? The way.
No, most definitely.
So what do you think, like, so can a woman be like self-conscious about her body and still be a good lover?
Yes.
Depends on how many shots she had. No.
That's probably the truth. That's probably the truth.
It depends on the level of confidence that woman has regardless. Because, you know, some women, they might not be comfortable with the way their body looks, but they confident enough to know, I ain't trying to change it right now. This is who I am, and this is what you go get. But I'm still sexually liking what I do. So it depends on the individual. If she got low self-esteem coming into it, then chances are she gonna be limited on what she gonna do in the bedroom.
So
Yes, because you, I mean, just like we talked about on that one episode where Raven was saying that the man kept on his shirt.
Oh, kept her
Could you
shirt on?
imagine just having sex with some woman
And she
that
don't take off her
always-
clothes?
She don't take off her clothes. She just pulling her pants down halfway, and that would be just so.
I don't even think men care about that, though.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
No, you think they care about a woman's body?
No,
That's what
how
I'm
it
saying.
looks. No, I don't think.
they
But I think
care.
a woman is self-conscious, and she's, sometimes she's just not going to show her body. You know, some women are just self-conscious.
So the question was, do you think a woman's sex life is dependent upon her confidence in her body? So if a woman is not really consciously or confident about her body, do you think that affects her sex life?
I think so.
So how much do you think it affects her sex life? Because Melvin said if she had a few shots.
she not even care at that point.
But that's true. But without the liquor, I think that it could possibly.
It definitely could.
It depends on how comfortable the guy makes her feel too.
Now that's probably
that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, because if he's comfortable enough to let her know, I ain't really tripping about how you feel or how you look in the bedroom. I just want to be with you. She'll be in her mind.
Maybe.
I can do whatever.
Exactly.
Maybe. Because I think that there are some people who, no matter how much you tell them, like, you don't care, or you're not conscious about their body, or that part of your body don't bother me, or I don't look at that I think there are still some people who have insecurities about their body.
I also feel like the level of insecurities also make a woman go over and beyond in the bedroom. Because if you got a woman who's insecure about her body and she ain't been with a man in a long time, and one guy comes along and gives her that attention that she ain't got, she might feel like, oh, I normally don't give head, but I'm going to give it tonight. I'm going to do it tonight because I'm trying to keep this. So
this one ain't going nowhere.
This one ain't going nowhere. So they can play a part too. They can play a huge part too.
That might have some truth to that.
Like, it could be some truth.
I normally don't lick right here, but tonight I want to keep him. I don't want him looking at my body going, I ain't going back with her now. She do whatever.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go back to her. So it depends.
So you said that, what was you saying? You came over and you said that women, I lost my train of thought just that
You
quickly.
made me lose my train of thought. I don't know.
She said something.
Yeah, but she didn't know really the question, so you gotta.
No, she asked me the question, but I do think that sometimes you being confident or having like self-esteem issues, I do think that it can affect you in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that also affects not just in sexual, period, in life.
True.
Oh, you were saying men
confidence.
don't care about what women's bodies look like.
Well, that's a
I
lot.
mean, you said it's a lot. It could be. It's a lot. To me, it just seemed like they just want the
They want
sex.
vagina?
Like, what does it matter what her body look like if you get?
So you telling me you ain't never been with a woman who wasn't necessarily small, but
He's a married man. We probably gotta.
we gonna keep it.
Depends on how many shots I've had.
Okay.
It
So
might-
if you've had several,
Nah,
enough
back in the
shots.
day when I was coming up, I think it depends on the level of maturity. As you get older, you know what I'm saying, images don't necessarily mean everything, of course, once you get older. But, you know, if you have a preference, then you go for that preference. If you don't, I ain't just going to be walking around and be like, oh, yeah, she look like this. I don't care. I'm going to get with her anyway. Nah.
Yeah, if you had
Now, if I was 21 back in the day, you know,
It didn't matter.
that honestly, that's how, I'm going to say in our culture, that's how black men used to think, depending on how you was raised.
they
But,
still think that way.
yeah, I don't know.
And I'm
about
just
this.
speaking sexually, not being in a relationship. Because
Yeah,
relationship-wise, you want somebody
Okay,
to look
yeah,
like
yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, yeah, that,
But
that
I'm
case,
saying
yeah,
sexually,
men don't care.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
just want to just
Sex
have
life,
sex
like
with
just
somebody,
having sex with somebody.
Yeah.
No,
It
not
don't matter.
it don't
necessarily
matter
like.
what her body look like.
Right.
Just- You just gonna hit it and move on.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
if she, relationship-wise, you want to make sure she look like
Yeah.
something, and he look like something.
Right. So does it matter? Like, okay, so we talking about fitness, and then so now the new thing is surgically fit. So you see a lot of women who have altered their bodies.
Right.
So do you think a woman has low self-esteem if she gets surgery, or if she? So which would you prefer? Would you prefer a woman to do fitness or surgery? But if a woman says, "I've done fitness, I've been doing fitness for a while, I want to do surgery," would you be mad at her for that?
No. I don't think that's an issue. It depends on how far you're going with it. Because some of these women go too far with it. And it's bigger than just, now they're just living up to the stigma of the IG models. I want to look like one of these models. And
Right.
if you're doing it for that reason, then that's a turnoff. But if you're doing it because, okay, ever since I've been a little girl, my titties been little. I've always wanted to have big titties. So I went and got the surgery and I had big titties. It ain't that I'm trying to please nobody. For me personally, I'm cool with that. But if you going in and just because Megan Thee Stallion got a big ass, now I got to go get a fake ass. Wasn't nothing wrong with my butt in the beginning, but now I got to get it bigger. and then you walk around looking like T.I. wife.
A mess. A lot of them girls' bodies look the same. They all look alike to me.
That's what's
that's
going right now.
Right. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
I'm just saying,
It's trending.
Look alike. It is.
It's trending.
And me, it like what you said earlier. You said, remember I said I was tired yesterday, and you said it's because of what I'm putting in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat the best. I do try to go work out, but I don't eat the best. But I do want surgery, but only on my stomach, just to.
That's lazy. Well, go ahead.
It is.
Uh-huh.
But is it lazy if like say so like
I would say yes in my case because I don't really like getting down there doing crunches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like being consistent. It's not that I don't like being consistent, but I'm not consistent with what I eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a few good days where I eat good, but then it's like, well, that burger look good, so I'm gonna eat this burger today.
But you can't eat a burger like once a week.
I don't go crazy with it, but I'm just saying, like, it is, a part of it is being lazy. And it's like, to me, the whole surgery thing is the easy way out.
It definitely is.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it would be the easy way out in some instances, but for me, like, so the only benefit for surgery for me is because I've had kids and I have, like, it don't matter. I've worked out. I've eaten well. I've, like, you go to work to my job and they're like, you eat grains and look like you're eating like a bird and a rabbit on, because they know that that's just my thing. Like, I eat really good. And I go to the gym on a regular basis. But I have this little hangish that I know it ain't going nowhere. I don't care how much I do.
That is
what
I'm going to blame
I
that
do.
too.
I can do all the crunches, run 15 miles. It's not going. That skin ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So, like, for me, I would tuck it just because it's not going anywhere. I didn't have it before my son, and I had a cesarean, and instead of them tucking it like I asked when they was cutting me, they didn't tuck it. Oh, you don't need that. Sure. I want to go find my OBGYN and tell her now. So do you think I don't need it now? Because everything, it's flat. It goes down. It's not big. And everybody's like, why do you work out so much? I'm like, because, I like to do that. But at the end of the day, I can't get rid of that. Yeah. It's just not going anywhere.
And I enjoy the gym. It's actually therapeutic for me.
It is.
It's therapeutic.
And what it teaches you is discipline and commitment. And that structure alone. And that's why, even for me, putting what I'm doing over here in this community on our side of the community so I can educate us on how important it is for us. Because it's not just about, I want to eat right, I want to look right, I want to, feel like this. Like, if you can get healthy, your mindset changes. True. Because you are learning something about yourself that you probably didn't. And in our culture, we ain't taught that. We taught to eat the soul food. We taught to go over grandma's house every other day and eat like this. We taught to eat all the dessert, and we taught eat everything on your plate.
Yeah.
Eat everything on your plate.
Don't waste
that is my problem.
Eat everything on. You don't waste food in this house.
I do not waste food.
Yeah,
and I hate that I have that mindset. And I talk about that all the time. Like, I hate that I have that mindset where I'm not wasteful.
Yeah.
But it's actually detrimental to me at the same time.
Very much. So.
Yeah, because the kids in China ain't eating.
That's how I feel.
That's how they they stayed there as a kid. So the kids in China ain't eating. And I got smart with it, and I started telling them, well, just send this plate to China.
In Africa.
In Africa, we heard China, we heard Africa.
Hungry, don't have clean water. And I'm like, you really gonna throw that away? Like, it's people that wish they had that right now.
Girl, I just used to be like, well, just send it to them. You can package this. Well, here, look, you can send them my plate because I don't want this.
So I stepped away for a second, but how did you get into the whole Herbalife and like nutrition? Because you teach classes as well, I do. And you have like a lot of people up there.
I do. Nutrition started with me. I used to always work out. Probably when I hit I wasn't an athlete in high school. I never really cared about sports to that magnitude. I never really worked out. I was always skinny. By 25, I really started getting into fitness because I started hanging around my buddies who worked out. And I just had that image of myself, I want muscles here, I want muscles there, I want muscles. So this is what they're doing to get it, so I want to do it. But I ate whatever. I stayed at McDonald's. I stayed at Wendy's. I stayed eating however I wanted to because I was always skinny. But we all know, once you hit 30, that metabolism is going to shit. So my body started changing. I started getting a gut. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. I got to go get more crunches, And like I said, coming from my community growing up, we're not educated on nutrition. So I didn't know I had to eat a certain amount of, nutrition really just started getting popular probably in the last 5-10 years. because of social media.
Right.
Making it look cool and making everybody get that, image of you need to eat this way, eat that way. So we didn't have that coming up. So when I started looking at it and I got introduced to Herbalife, I never did supplements. I never took anything. And I started to notice the change in how I felt. Because after 30, when I got off of work, I want to go home. I want to lay down. I want to relax. And my mindset was, I'm getting older. This is how you're supposed to feel. Because everybody, generation after generation, once you hit this certain age, you're going to be tired. Like you said, well, I'm getting older. We thinking that's how it's supposed to be. But I started realizing it was the food that I was putting in my body. Because anytime I eat that burger and fries, we get that itis. I want to go lay down. After Thanksgiving dinner, everybody going to lay down.
Right.
We go watch football. We go sit on the chair. That's because we done ate 3 plates of nothing but heavy food that's just sitting on us.
That's true.
So when I started educating myself, then Herbalife, they really focus on making sure you know what you're doing before you take it to the extreme of now you want to start coaching other people. And they challenged me. And I had never been challenged in my life. My upbringing was, go get an education if you want to. Go get a good job. Stay on a good job. Survive. That's what we was taught. You need to learn how to survive, pretty much. So when I started getting around people that wasn't thinking survival mode, it was scary at the beginning. And I think for most people, especially black people, when we get out of our comfort zone, it's scary. Because we like, nah, I'm used to this. This is who I am.
Right.
This is what I've been all my life. And then I'm going around people who don't act like me, who don't talk like me, who don't walk like me. I'm gonna stay away from y'all,
Right?
Because I ain't with that life right now. But I learned very fast that in order for me to be the best me, I got to start taking care of me. And I preach this all the time in my club, especially for black women, because I feel like black women are quick to put others before themselves. I feel like y'all got a bad case of, let me take care of the kids, let me take care of mama, let me take care of this, let me take care of that. And this is just a generational curse that we all taught up, especially before women start working and really start providing for themselves. That's what the standard was. You go take care of the household and you put yourself last. So as I started educating myself and understanding that, I got 4 sisters. So seeing black women around the household trying to take care of me was the norm. So when I started getting educated on this whole wealth and health, wellness and health thing, I'm like, y'all terrible. Because y'all love everybody but yourself. Y'all love everybody but yourself. So I made it a priority to make sure, and that's why most of my clientele is women. I make it a priority to make sure that black women understand, let me give myself a year or 2 just dedicated to me. Let me be selfish. And it ain't a sense that I don't love my kids, I don't love my mama, I don't love my dad, but I love me more. And I gotta love me more in order to give you the love that you gonna need from me one day. And I think once women start understanding how important it is to love themselves first, you can be a better person.
I think sometimes in that space where, it's easier said than done, because what ends up happening is people criticize you.
Right.
So how do you find time to go to the gym?
Yeah.
How do you find time? Don't that take away from your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I get that on a regular, I don't know how you do it because I got these kids over here. Well, I got kids too.
But you got to make time for what's important too. And health is something that's important. So it's like the other day, I worked all day. I went to class, and then I was like, I'm going to go to the gym, even if I do 30 minutes of cardio, it's something. But I told myself, okay, I'm going to leave the gym by 8:30 because my kids were at home, and I didn't want, And so it is a lot of stuff that you have to factor, and we do put a lot of people before ourselves, which, and like she said, we are criticized if we're selfish. Yeah. And
very
so
criticized. You have to try to balance it out. You got to block out people's comments and how people feel about it, and come back over to the space where you're like, you know what? But I'm doing this for me, no matter what anybody else thinks, and still balance. I still have to take care of the kids. I still got to get to my job. I still got to try to stay up long enough to function through the day. Because I've made the sacrifice of getting up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym.
Yeah. And most of the people that you probably hang around be like, girl, I ain't getting up in no 5
We used to go
Girl,
together.
yeah.
We used to go together at 5. But I mean, yeah, you do get those. Like,
Yeah.
girl, you get up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I
But
can't
that's
believe
people
you
that
know
don't
at
care
5
about
in the
their
morning.
health.
You know,
But that's a lot. That's a large number.
It's a large
Right.
number.
That's a large number.
or you know, the fact that I'm not big. So why are you getting up at 5 in the morning
And
to
you
go
ain't
to the
big.
gym and you not even big?
But it's more
Like,
than
I
just
don't even
being big,
understand.
though. It's
you
about
know?
being healthy, your heart.
And that's the
Right.
stigmatism that we have in our community. We think we equate small, slim to healthy.
Yes.
That's not.
That's not true.
It.
It's
not
That's
true.
not
Right.
it. I know a girl right now that's addicted to eating powder, baby powder. She has a issue eating baby powder, and she is smaller than me, you, all of us. And you would look at her and think, oh, she got it together. But this baby is so sick. She is sick as I don't know what. Her insides are very messed up because she's poor nutrition.
So it's funny you say that because my mom never weighed over 100 pounds, and my mom was addicted to eating flour. And by the time she got sick at the end, and they ran all her blood work, they said it's like she'd been living in a third world country because her nutrition levels were so low.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Her nutrition levels were so low because she didn't really eat. She ate powder. I mean, not powder, but flour.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know that because she was so small.
On the outside, you looking like
She always kept her
she
weight
all
off.
right. She all
You know,
right.
but like
Ain't
she
nothing wrong
was
with
so
her.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
So unhealthy.
Yeah, my mama used to always say, and that's probably why I still work out, you know, when I can, or well, I make sure I try to get to the gym and stuff. But my mama used to always tell me stuff like, skinny people have heart attacks too.
Yes. Yes.
She used to say that all the time
Yes,
to me,
indeed.
like, skinny people have heart attacks too.
Yes,
And so that's always been my mentality. She never made me feel like because I was smaller that I could just do whatever.
Right.
She always used to tell me skinny people have heart attacks too. So just, you know, just because you're skinny, I mean, it's because she's a nurse and so she's seen it. But, you know, her thing was, you know, you got to be healthy, whatever you need to do. You know, if I get too stressed out, she'd be like, baby, you're going to stroke out. You need to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Go run it out.
The gym is like my peace place.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it does something for me. Like, it's like, I don't know. It just does something for me. I love it.
But that's crazy that you can say that in one instant, but it's not a priority. When do we make it a priority?
No, it is. For the most part.
For the most part.
Eating healthy is not a
not a
priority.
priority.
It's somewhat of a priority. No, I eat healthy, don't
You
I?
do eat
I
healthy.
really
I don't know
do eat.
why you say that.
No, I'm just saying I have my moments. But for the most part, I do eat healthy.
And it's my, I mean, I tell people all the time, don't try to go cold turkey with this thing. Because you got to think about it. We've created habits over years. We all over 30. So over the years of creating bad habits, and then all of a sudden in 6 months you want to be on this level right here. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't eat terrible,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying I have my moments. That's all.
I mean, I do. I'm not hard on myself when I do eat something that I like. Like, I'm not hard on myself in that space, but I try to as much as I can to keep it on, like, you know, eating healthier and being conscious of the things I put into my body and things like that. I do try to be as conscious about it as possible, but I'm not hard on myself if I go and get some ice cream.
But I am hard on
You know.
myself, though.
Why?
I don't know. It's a mental thing because for the most part, like I eat cucumber salads, I eat salmon, I eat all that stuff, avocado. But if I have a burger or if I even have a pop, I feel bad about having a pop, so I might have a pop like 2 times a month
So let me ask you this. What's your goal?
to lose weight.
Are you losing weight?
I'm maintaining.
Maintain.
I'm not gaining. No, listen, I lost 20 pounds and I've
Okay.
kept that 20 pounds off.
Did you congratulate yourself for losing 20 pounds? How did you feel after you lost 20 pounds? Was you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm working to lose probably like 10 more pounds.
In the
or
process
something
of
like
losing that 20 pounds, how hard was you on yourself?
that. I don't know.
You
Probably very hard.
very hard.
Cause
Did you
she's-
feel like you
Because
you,
she's,
you was
that's what I'm
doing
saying.
it?
I think childhood wise,
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes when we talk about like weight and body image and things like that, your childhood
It
think,
affected me a lot.
affected you a lot.
It affected
Because
me
she
a lot.
talks a lot about like her body and body image and things like that. That stuff that we be like, girl, what is
Yeah.
like?
And
what
it's,
is
I'm gonna
that?
tell you why. Because my mom
Because your
was 100
mama-
pounds.
Yeah.
My dad probably was like 150, 160.
Okay.
And even the last time I saw my dad, he said, "You look like you keeping your weight off." Every time I saw my parents, it was always about weight. And it's like, I'm not skinny like y'all. I mean, I'm not big, but it's like I'm not skinny like y'all. So it did affect me. And so I do. That's why when I do eat burgers and fries and stuff, I do feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I still eat it, but I feel bad about it.
It's like I said, the mind is a crazy thing, and we be amazed at how many things affects us on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So that's why when you say, even with the gym and how therapeutically it is, and being able to just go in there and meditate or do whatever it is to get out of that world, like, that's why I tell us, like, we got to do that. We got to make it a priority. How many people I know come in the shop and they be like, just having random conversation, and they know everything about love and hip-hop. They know everything about power. They know everything about every sitcom that come on Monday through Sunday. And I be like, so why you ain't gonna work out this week? I ain't got time.
Cut out one of them shows.
You got time.
And the gym has TVs.
Yeah.
Watch it at the gym.
Well, okay, so first of all, let me tell you something. I mean, I know I go to the gym, and I know it's therapeutic, but I don't particularly love the gym.
I don't either.
So, like, I have to sometimes force... No, I don't. Like, if I and I know people be like, you run that mile, you get it going, and I get it done because I know I have to get it done. But there are times in my life I wish I could just be like, shoot, all right, we good.
I don't know. It's my place to get away from work, get away from kids, get away from everybody. I don't respond to text messages. I'm listening to my music. That's just my place.
So what I try to create is a family. When I say a family, getting in shape, getting healthy, getting fit, all that stuff that goes along with that structure is hard doing it by yourself. Because like you said, y'all both was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning doing it. Like, that's fun. Now you got an accountability partner.
True.
So when you got accountability partner,
It
did
wasn't fun. It made us accountable to each other. But I still rolled over like, ugh. I promise y'all.
But after you walked out, you was feeling good.
We did. But some mornings I'd be like, I hope she don't text me.
It was some mornings it'd be like,
you be like, you up. I'll be like,
but it'd be the same here.
Yeah,
like, ooh, hold on. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get this extra sleep if she don't say nothing. Then she text me like, you up? Like, guess I am.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not always been. I have like a love-hate relationship with the gym, and I have people who be like, I love it, and I'm like, I don't love it. Yeah. Like, it's not something that I would prefer to be doing. I could go 100% without it. I know it's needed. Good? I like feeling good, but I don't like the process.
We'll find something else that.
I don't like classes, so people have asked me to do classes. Like, why don't you try classes?
See,
I get in there.
And that's why I started the step classes, because I know people like the dance, so I knew incorporating the steps in the dance that makes it fun and don't feel like you really exercising.
Have you seen his classes on Facebook?
Dancing.
Yeah, he has a lot of people in his classes. He do them right up here at the nutrition place. At his nutrition place.
The one next on Lottie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, on 23rd.
Let's Lottie.
It's Lottie, 23rd.
Yeah,
I'm
like 23rd and Lottie, right there next to,
But the east side is Lottie.
It's Lottie.
It's Lottie.
But no, I don't like classes. So people have been like, try a class. I have been in classes, and I'm constantly looking at I find the clock in the class. And I'm looking for the clock. And if they say it's an hour, I feel like that's the longest hour of my life. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I work out better when I'm by myself. I don't particularly like a workout partner because I feel like it slows me down. So I know that's saying, like I said, but there are people. But there are people out here that hate it. Like, and I understand their concept. Like, I
like working out by myself too, because I could do what I want to do.
Right.
Versus when you have, I know partners hold you accountable, but when you have a partner, when they're ready to get off, you tend to kind of get off the machine. So it's better to kind of work out with somebody that actually go a little harder than you. Because I've worked out with some people that are be like, oh, you going 30 minutes? Like, yes, I'm going 30 minutes on this machine. And so I think that's important. I do have a question though. Like, the people that you're teaching, how, like, are they pretty consistent, like, as far as coming back, or do, like, a lot of people fall off, and, like, are you able to really get through people?
So, I'm definitely able to get through people. I've had maybe 16 people now that has lost over 100 pounds.
Oh, nice.
Probably more than 30 people lost over 50 pounds. And for me personally, it's because I'm passionate about it, and it's always about the individuals for me. So when I'm training somebody, or I'm dealing with somebody, I'm just giving advice to somebody, I always put my all into it. And they can read that straight off the back. But they also understand that I'm doing this because I want you to be better. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I want you to be better. And most people, when they genuinely feel like somebody cares about them, because a lot of people come in that door, a lot of people don't care about them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, they don't get nobody to really uplift them on a day-to-day basis. And I say it all the time. Most of the time in our communities, the only time we get that uplifting or that motivation is Sunday at church.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
True.
you just going through life.
Yeah.
You go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. You
Right.
might have some friends, y'all talk about whatever y'all talk about. But other than just really motivating you to be better in life, and I try to teach people that it ain't just about coming in here, drinking a shake, going to a workout, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about uplifting you as a person. Like, what does your greatest you look like? If you had to go 5 years from now and dictate where you want your life to be at, what would it look like?
Right.
Because I think once we become adults, once we have kids, we kind of settle when it comes to our goals. We ain't really as driven as we probably was before that. So I try to reiterate, like I got a lady right now, 61 years old. She been working with me for a year. She came to me, she said, Melvin, she said, I'm 61 years old. I ain't got to do none of this. She said, but you lit a fire in me that made me want to be driven to do something that I wanted to do 30 years ago. But I got caught up in a rat circle. I'm just dealing with everyday life. Raising my grandkids now. I thought that was what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm a grandparent, and I kind of put me on the back burner again. She said, but listening to you motivate these people to go out and be their best, even at 61, I know I got a lot of life to live.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
and
so true.
we get caught up in everyday life to feeling like this is my worth. This is all I'm worth. This is all I'm going to do in life, and I'm done. And especially for black men, because we feel like as the provider, I just supposed to provide for my family and I'm supposed to do nothing else. And that's why I pride myself on being a good father, letting them know that, yeah, we can do more than just buy Jordans and Pampers. Like, we can actually be there for our kids, show our kids love, affection, all that. And when we relate that to us, then our black women looking at us in a whole different light. And we need that in our communities. And I don't like, because I've had critics come to me and say, well, you always talking about the black community. This is all I know.
Exactly.
Right.
And I want us to be great.
Right. And I think that people shame you for being, for wanting the black community to be great.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's anything wrong with wanting, because we have to start with ourselves first to be able to reach out into the world. Mm-hmm. And I think it's new a lot of times. It's pretty new for a lot of us to even be in this space of feeling like the black community can do this, or the black community can be this, or for a lot of us enough to be above the line far enough. Yeah. Because that's the thing. It's not like black people have never talked about black people empowering each other. Right. But enough of us have gotten above the line enough now that we can start saying, you know what, we all deserve better. We can get better. Our community can be better. This is what a good community can look like.
Right. And the fact that he put the fitness in the community, because we don't have that over here.
We don't.
We don't have it. I want to say you're the first, from what I know of, as far as like teaching classes and a nutrition shop. I mean, they just opened up the gym down the street, but I mean, still, you're the first to actually come into the community, teach about health. Let's be healthy. And health is more of, we need to be here for our kids. Yeah. You know, we don't need to have heart attacks at 50 and die. Like, we need to be here, and it's important. It's good that you're teaching that.
And it's mental health. Like,
and
we got bad. I mean, we it's bad in our community. Mental health is serious.
And fitness and working out can help with your mental health.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, that's why they got a chicken joint in a liquor store on every corner. Because if they know they can weigh us down, they can take this away from us. And that's when we go to other avenues of, let me cope with life. Let me go drink. Let me go smoke. Let me go do this crack. Or whatever it might be to make our mind go in another way, because we dealing with the bills. We dealing with, I don't make enough money to take care of this. You know, I'm dealing with the struggle of, I got to go work at a place that I don't want to work at every day. How do I get out of that? I can remember, even for me, growing up in Oak Cliff, I never saw anything outside of my neighborhood. And of course, this was before GPS and, you know, social media and all that stuff. So if you left outside of Oak Cliff, you had to go get MapQuest, and, you know, you had to really know where you was going. And for my community, that wasn't a big thing. When I moved to Oklahoma, this is the first time I really saw, like, somebody living that looked like me living in $200,000 house. I didn't think that was possible for us. other than athletes and entertainers.
Oh, wow.
So when I saw that, I'm like, wow, like we can really have something. And then, of course, being around a circle of people that look like you, talk like you, and walk like you is very motivational. You know what I'm saying? And for us, a lot of us put it on, we don't really speak on it because we don't have the confidence to speak on it. And it takes a lot to get you at a level to where your confidence is where I can speak on anything. Like I tell people all the time, the Melvin that I was, even when I was at Douglas, I was quiet. I was shy, standoffish. I didn't talk to nobody because I was insecure. I didn't know who I was. So I didn't want to bother nobody. I didn't want to be with nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. So I just stayed to myself. A lot of people like, oh, you thought you was all that. No, I didn't think I was nothing. That was the problem. I didn't think I was anything. So as I grew and started developing who I was, then it was like, okay, I'm comfortable now. Like, you got to really bring it to me to make me feel uncomfortable because I'm feeling comfortable in any environment. You can be rich, you can be poor. I have a belief of I treat everybody the same. I don't care who you are, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. I'm going to treat you just like I treat anybody. So once I adapted that mentality, it started giving me that confidence to know I can be great. I can go wherever. So I feel like if enough of us get that mindset, then sky's the limit for us.
Right. And it's important because I've was talking to my sister this week, and she had a friend who was struggling with the idea that, our kids need to see our images. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people think, no, they don't have to. But people don't understand how important it is to see. When you are in a space where you work with, I've worked in places where you just work with all white people. Mm-hmm. And then you see a black person and they're in a higher up position or they're a director for something. It makes you feel like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's obtainable. Oh, yeah, they can. So if they can do that, then I can do it too.
That's true. They have to see it.
Right. You have to see your image. You have to see people that look like you. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it isn't necessarily just because this whole, people are getting so offended. Black people talk about black people too much. But it's the idea of the fact that if it's never been done, then how do I believe that I'm the first person that can do it? Because I have to be superhuman. Yeah. Or I have to be extra confident to walk into a space and be like, okay, it's never been done. Yeah. So I'm going to be the first person to do it. Not a lot of us grow up in homes where we're taught that.
Right.
Or where we feel like we can be that person. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes it does take just to be able to see someone else has done it to know, oh, okay, I can do that because it's obtainable.
So was it somebody that motivated you or you just saw?
I adopted a mentor when I first moved to Oklahoma. And just at first, I didn't even know what a mentor was. I was just watching this guy and I saw the way he moved. I saw the way he respected people, and I saw the respect people gave him. And it was like, man, I want to be like that. And he ain't no big shot. He ain't no multi-millionaire. He ain't no entertainer. He's just a regular dude, entrepreneur, that's catering to his community, and people show him a lot of love. And I always looked at that, but I was always the one to be quick to ask somebody questions. Like, man, how you do that? How you get there? How you get there? How you get there? I was always, no matter how it made me look. And I think a lot of that stems from being a black sheep. I was always the black sheep in my community growing up. My cousins, they, was out hustling. They did things of that nature, and I was always the one standoffish, never really doing nothing. So, I tell this story now. I can remember at one point, I was embarrassed to even tell this story. I used to hate being around college people. People that went to college, graduated, got the degrees. I hate being around them because I didn't. I dropped out of Douglas. When I dropped out of Douglas, I didn't go back to school. So I dropped out of school completely. And I was challenged at 21 to get my GED. And in my mind, I had what was considered a decent job. I was working, making decent money. So I'm like, yeah, I could go get a GED, but what is it going to do for me? You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that it really helped my confidence. So I can remember it like it was yesterday. I went down to downtown off of class, and I enrolled in the GED class, and I took the test, and a little old white woman called me in probably a week after I took the test, and she sat me down. I'm 21 years old. She said, Mr. Johnson, she said, you didn't pass. She said, you got one or two options. Either you can find a way to get better, or you continue through life and see what it gives you. She said when it came to your reading, you was on the 6th grade level. When it came to your math, you was on the 7th grade level. She said, you 21 years old, black male. I'm going to be honest, you ain't got too many options out there with this type of education. This is what this woman told me. So from there, I walked out that door.
But she gave you what you needed.
Oh, she definitely gave me what I need because that light a fire on my ass. So at that time, they was just building the library downtown. I went downtown, got a library card. I ain't tell nobody this. I would get off of work at like 5, 6 in the evening, and I'll go straight to the library. I got hooked on phonics at 21. Y'all know hooked on phonics back then. That was for the kids.
That's
where you
awesome.
show kids how to read and educate themselves and all that. So I would go to the library for 4 months straight, every day for an hour, and I would teach myself how to get better, how to get better, how to get better. So I went back probably 5 months later, took the test. Same woman called me in the office. She said, I remember you. She said, you passed. She said, barely, but you passed. She said, so that says a lot. She said, so now what are you going to do in your life to get better? Because whatever you did to get to this point, that shows you that you got the work ethic. You just need to put it into action in all areas of your life. And I never had nobody talk to me like that. So from that point on, I knew I was destined to be great at something. I just didn't know what it was, but I would always ask about it. I always ask about, like, I'm praying, like, what is my calling? Like, I need to know what my calling. And of course, it came later in life when I turned, like, 30. That's when I realized, okay, this is my calling. But I knew I had the ability to go out there and push myself to the limits. And I think a lot of us, we make excuses for not pushing ourselves to those limits.
I think what the most valuable thing that I learned in college, and it's crazy you say that because people say, well, black people. Well, a white man taught me the most valuable thing I ever learned in college. And that's just sitting in the classroom listening to people who say things. And I think sometimes we're intimidated by those spaces because we've never been in them. But until they tell you, like, straight to face things, like one of the classes I had, white man, and he was talking about credit, and I had never ever heard anybody talk about credit. Like in the black community, they don't talk about credit.
Taboo.
They don't, they don't tell you how credit works. They don't tell you how to work credit. They don't tell you. They just, it exists, but they don't tell you how to work it.
Right.
And so he was the first person to ever say, you know what, never buy nothing you can't buy. Don't ever buy nothing you can't afford. And also make sure that you never put anything on a credit card that you couldn't afford to pay for. Yeah. And I had never heard that. Blew my mind. I was just like, wait, why they don't teach us this kind of stuff? Yeah. Like, why is it? I didn't already, hold on, look, at this point, I didn't already bottomed out a credit card. Yeah. Paid it off, but I didn't bottom out a credit card at this point. Yeah. And nobody had ever told me that.
That's usually how people learn in the black community, because they max them out.
Trial and
error.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. And he was like, you only put, if you ever have to have a credit card, you only put 20% of any purchase on a credit card, this, that, and the other. And this entire time, I'm soaking this up like, I ain't never heard this before. I mean, he just went on, it was a real estate class, but it wasn't like, that wasn't part of the chapter. He just went on to something different, and that was part of his lesson. The other thing I learned was a chemistry teacher who sat me down and was like, you have the ability to be really good at this once you push yourself. She said every test that you ever passed with flying colors, I could tell, is because you sat down and studied every bit of that material. She said, but any test that you didn't pass, it's because she said you either didn't have time to study or you just didn't study. She said, I could tell. She says, you have the material, you can do it. But I think that sometimes what happens is we get afraid to be in those spaces with people who are uncomfortable because they don't look like us and they're not. I mean, and so I don't think it's always 100%. That's why, I think it's good for us to push our community up, because we also need to understand that there is other cultures out here that can teach us a lot.
They got the game.
Things.
We got to learn from them.
Yeah. That we
them.
can learn and bring back to our communities and talk about out loud and talk about things that everybody isn't talking about. Credit.
Yeah, I learned a lot of credit from Dave Ramsey.
Right.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn. You got to learn.
I got the book.
Yeah, you got to learn.
Right.
Yeah,
so I don't. It's just stuff that we don't get.
But it's about pushing yourself to be willing to go out there and learn it. You know what I'm saying? I can remember growing up, they always say, you want to hide something from Blackbirds, put it in the book. And I was like, man, that's so true. Because I wasn't a reader. you talking about picking up a book. I don't even think I picked up a book in high school. I was like, man, please. I just learned about word of mouth. And as I got, and that's why I'm so thankful for Herbalife, because Herbalife really pushed me to a standards of trusting and believing in myself. That I knew I had in me, I just didn't know how word was going to come from. And they would always challenge us to read this book, read that book, read this book, read that book. And when I made it a priority, then that's when I started being able to educate myself more and more and more and more. Mm-hmm. So I think once we get to a level to where we're comfortable with understanding that it's okay to educate yourself no matter what level you on, then you'll be more free to go out there and achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Well, it's inspirational to even hear you say, look, I knew I didn't have it. When she told me I didn't have it, I took the necessary steps to go and make myself better. Yeah. Because a lot of times the issue is a lot of us are reading under our grade level. Yeah. Right. And ashamed to say it out loud.
And that could have went one or two ways. You could have took that and just been like, this is just me, who I am. She right.
I got a decent job, paying decent money. I'll just stay right here.
Yeah.
But the Virgo in you was like, no.
That was the Virgo.
I mean, but still, just period. The fact that you was just like, look, I'm going to go to this library. I'm going to go get me a library card. Yeah. I'm going to go to this library every day until I feel comfortable enough to go back and do this. Yeah. So I think a lot of times that's something that a lot of us don't have in us. A lot of us hear that first no. Yeah. And then stop at that first no.
Yeah. It's crazy you say that first no. So coming into this business, it was very discouraging to want to walk up to people and be like, hey, let me tell you about my business. I sell these shakes. And they be like, get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh my goodness. And to the point it will crush you. You be like, man, I'm trying to help you out. And you just gonna tell me no like that? So being able to stand strong in a no is powerful. Because a lot of us can't deal with no's. And a lot of us stay content in our level of wherever we at because we don't want to hear a no. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I don't want to get a promotion at my job because they going to tell me no. Yeah. And even if I say, okay, well, and this is the crazy thing that I can't wrap my mind around in our communities. We would go, I grew up Baptist. My dad's a preacher. And we will have so much faith, unlimited amount of faith that we talk about, but only if we can see it. Because anything outside of that, I meet so many people and I be like, they be like, I hate my job. I hate doing this. I'm like, why don't you try to do something better with your life? Like, why don't you elevate your skill level? Go get an education if that's what you need. Go put yourself in this position. Man, I don't know if that's going to work. Where's all this faith that we supposed to have? Like, we run a church and everybody faithful. Everybody, God is going to bless us and God is going to put us on this whole different pedestal. But we don't believe that. We really don't believe that when it's time to really put in that work.
Because he still requires work from us.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't, and it is. We do get discouraged.
Because unless it's just something that just show up, because everybody believe in a check that's just going to magically show up in a mailbox that's just gonna magically pay off all your debt and put you in a nice house and you just magically assume that that's gonna happen at some point because God got the power to do that. So that's what we waiting on. Yeah. So until we get that, everything else is null and void. Yeah. Why am I work for anything more?
Yeah.
That's true.
One dude told me a long time ago. He said, man, when my life changed, he said, when I started putting 110% in everything I did, he said, I used to hate my job. But no matter how much I hated, I still go in, I bust my butt every single day. And he said it got to the point to where the people that was over me started realizing, man, this dude really works hard. And he said, what's crazy is I was out doing a job somewhere else. Somebody from a bigger company recognized how hard I worked. And he said that same week, my manager offered me a position to move to a different position in the company, and I told him no. And that dude from the other company saw me and hired me as the manager in his position. He said they never recognized me until I walked out the door. But by the time I walked out the door, I realized me putting in that hard work every day building up my confidence to know that I can be a hard worker on any level. And it'll eventually pay off. We want instant gratification.
Yes.
Right.
We want instant gratification.
Give it to me
Totally.
yesterday.
Yeah, we need it now.
I need some instant.
No, not now. It should have been there yesterday.
Yeah.
And last week. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what's taking it so
Yeah.
long? I can't believe it's.
And that's with everything in life, though.
Yes.
And
I hate
from health
reading on
to-
Facebook how people hate their jobs, though. Well, I hate when they say, pray for me, I got an interview, that I get this job. And then a few months later, you complaining, I hate this job.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me to...
But
I think that's
I don't know. I
the
mean, sometimes you just get comfortable because I understand that.
I get it, but I'm just saying.
And no matter how hard you push, that's me. I hate my job, and I'm gonna go 20 years almost in. I'm gonna go get my 110%. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the fact that if you hate your job, go get some. No, at this point in life, I'm 40. I've been there 20 years. Then I'm looking. About 8 years, I can retire and I just go work somewhere I like. You know what I'm saying? So let me pay my house off. And so, I mean, I understand that you probably should push more, but as long as I get my 110% while I'm there and it don't bother me, once I walk out of them doors, it stops. But I can't say that honestly, like, oh my God, I love my job.
As long as you're giving it your all, though.
What do you love? What comes easy for you that you don't have to put no effort in and you know you're good at it?
My job comes easy for me. I just don't like the environment of it. You know what I'm saying? If I was in another position, I love my company. Mm-hmm. By all means, it comes easy to me. I mean, I've been doing it. I can, in my sleep, I can do that job. It's not that it comes hard, like, oh my God, I can't do this. That's
What's your
not
attitude
what it
at
is.
work?
Get it done.
I'm talking about amongst others.
Oh, I mean, I really don't. When I get to work, I'm the type of person I'm just gonna do my job. I'm focused here. I'm not finna, I don't chatter, and that's probably the thing. I don't go talk to the big bosses people may do, and that's not me. I'm just going to get there, sit at my desk, do what I got to do, go my break by myself, come back to my desk, do what I got to do, and I'm going to go home.
Do you tell yourself every day, oh, I hate this job, but I know I'm going to do it 8 more years?
I don't tell, not every day. No, I don't even get to the fact where I say I hate my job walking in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to say that. It's already a given. I don't have to say it. Everybody knows. The 10 people walking behind me is thinking the same thing. They walking in with their Bibles. And some people are sitting at their desk praying for about 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, I just get in there and do it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. When everybody's praying, it's 5 cards.
The Serenity Prayer.
It's 5 cards. I look down. Everybody
having a praise session.
Oh my God.
At 6:55 in the morning, everybody praying. Yeah. I promise you. But you just be like, oh, if I can get through this, you know what I'm saying? Let me just get, I just get through the day. It's not like I'm like, but.
And I'm with Mika on this space
what it is.
because I do have a job. Like, when I walked into my job, I was extremely grateful for my job. Mm-hmm. But the politics in my job has made me decide that I just am not, like, I can't do this. And it's mainly because, I see us in a system that's stuck. Mm. And I can't do a lot from this side. Mm-hmm. With the policy and the politics, and when I speak up and say something, then it's, oh my gosh, you got to play the game, you got to tap dance for massive. But I'm like Mika. I've been there 6 years. At 7 years, I'm vested, so I can take my entire retirement with me. Mm-hmm. Why am I going to leave? Mm-hmm. And in 3 more years, I get all my student loan debt forgiven. Why am I leaving? Yeah. Like, so I think it's not even, if you think about the grand picture of it, and let me get to 10 years, and then I'm like, Mika, I can bounce it up out of here.
But are you asking what do you love to do as in, like, your passion?
Yeah.
Like, effortlessly. Like they say, like, your passion.
Oh,
like, your passion.
This is effortless.
It's like, you want to help people, or, like the homes, and you want to do different stuff. So I think that's what he means, like.
No, then that's definitely like, I've always wanted to do some nonprofit work. I didn't talk about, basically kids that grew up in drug abuse homes, mm-hmm. and, doing something like that, because I know how that feels. You mm-hmm. know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, I could help people out, in that space, because, it's hard as hell. So it's just, I just got to get through what I can get through at this point, because I didn't invested so much time. Right. And, I'm blessed to have the job. I mean, believe me, it has paved the way. You know what I'm saying? For me and them kids, for sure. But, eventually I will get to a point, hopefully, where I can just walk into something and be like, I love this job,
So if you say your passion is you want to build this nonprofit organization, What does that look like? Like, what do you have to do to get to that nonprofit?
And I haven't even researched it.
That's why I bring it up, because if we work on ourselves more than we work on that job, just imagine what we can create.
I agree.
Because even if you just take 1 hour out of your day, because I'm pretty sure at your job you so comfortable now, you pretty much got it down to a T to where you got some time where you ain't doing nothing.
No,
you chill.
That ain't the case.
It ain't the case. You working all day, every day?
All day long.
Oh, bless
but
your
that's
heart.
okay, though. You know.
So just imagine if you took an hour every week and said, I'm going to start doing research on this nonprofit.
Exactly. And that's true, though. That is
true.
true.
What could happen in a year?
It ain't, but just like you said at the beginning of the whole thing, like women and especially single mothers put everything in front, because if my kids don't run my whole schedule every day, all day long, it's around my kids. They don't think I should have a life. I don't do nothing outside of them. I mean, it just is what it is. I go to work 8 to 10 hours. After that is deal with Jayden and Javion. You know what I'm saying? I don't put forth the effort to do more for myself that I should.
Yeah.
And
so
I think
I always put my life on the back burner.
And I think that's where we're all guilty, is that we put so much time into our jobs and not enough into like our goals and our dreams. We really, like, I work hard for my job, and I'm like, but if I put that same energy into, like, say, because I want rental houses, if I put that same energy into stuff like that, I would have it instead of year after year.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do it after this.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean, and I've done like
because
I've
y'all
gotten
building
to the
somebody's
point.
dream.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I have the nonprofit. I have the 501c3. I have the exemption. I have all of that. You know, so for me right now it would be more of funding.
Okay.
You know, getting in this space where I could fund what I want. My issue is I probably got to come down and be realistic. Because what I want is big.
I mean, but you got to dream big.
Right.
But you got to speak into an existence.
Right. So that's my thing. My thing is what I want is big. Yeah. And so, like I said, I've done all of the research on it. I know what it is that I need to do to get to where I need to be on it. It's just a matter of the funding for me now.
Okay. So if that's the case, like I said, speaking into an existence, everybody that comes around you in your circle outside of work should know, okay, she gonna come over here talking about that nonprofit thing again, because that's her vision, that's her dream.
You're right.
And you never know who you can run into.
You're right.
You know what I'm
That's true.
saying? Like, I've ran into amazing people along this journey who I never thought I'd cross paths, even with this. Like, this is another platform level that elevates me to a whole different level. So that's just me speaking into an existence. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And putting myself out there to let people know this is my dream. Yeah, it's big, but God is big.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
You can get there.
Right.
And if he keep putting this in my mental, this is what you want. This is what you want. Because
It'll become
everything
a
pops in your mind did not think about this whole dream and goal that you had 15 years ago.
It did.
So you should have been working on it 15 years
Well,
ago.
no. You're right. You're right. I should have. But what ended up happening is my life circled back around to it. And so I started off with this thought process. So for those who've never heard it, my dream or my goal is to have homes for teen moms.
Okay.
Who are either in the system or just don't have family support, so that they're able to, you know, live their bigger dream. Okay. And so, you know, you can come live in my, you know, whatever our facility is. We'll have daycare assistance. We'll help you with school. We'll give you the knowledge of grants and financial aid and things like that I just didn't get as a single mom trying to go through college. And I feel like a lot of it, like, it was a point in which I was working 4 jobs. And I tell people that all the time, like, I don't know how I was doing it.
You Jamaican?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
but
okay.
I felt like I was at the time. But that's what I had to do in order for us to make it. Because, like, I don't know, I always used to say, like, God just clearly don't want me on assistance because it just never panned through. Never panned through. So I always had to have, like, umpteenth jobs to make sure the bills was paid, things were taken care of, that my daughter had what she needed, things like that. And it was a point in my life where I literally would go to work. We would get up in the morning. I would get her up, get her dressed. I would take her to daycare, go to work. I would be at work all day, go to school all night, get off in enough time to kiss her, put her to bed, and we would start it all over again. And that was our life for like a year until I finally was just like, I can't keep, like, how am I supposed to raise her like this? Like, somebody else is raising my baby.
Right,
she's
right.
either at daycare or she's with my mom and my sister. Like, I'm barely getting to see my baby. And so what I ended up doing was I just step back and took out student loans because I refused to take out student loans. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking out student loans. I don't want that kind of debt. I just, I fought for that for so long. And then I finally just said, okay, I'm just going to have to step back and live on student loans. But I felt like there should have been more resources. Like, why is there not anything outside of Section 8 and food stamps? Like, why is that my only option? And if I can't qualify for that, then why is there nothing else out here? Like, it's not like I'm trying to live on the system or I'm trying not to do anything for myself. I'm out here trying to get my bachelor's degree. I'm working really hard, trying to get there. Why is this step so hard? So, back then I thought that process, like, well, what if there was a house or a home for, mothers who were trying, who are single parents, who don't get housing or whatever, who really just need that help, that extra hand. Because, my family would babysit, but wasn't nobody taking care of no bills. My family like, nah, you had that baby? Yeah. You gonna pay for that. You do that part. But I just felt like it should have been like maybe there should have been some space where it just wasn't, not necessarily that wasn't hard, but it wasn't like so difficult. Because for me, I just felt like it was just so difficult. And then I go to school, finally finish school, and I come out and I get into the department where I'm at currently, and there's so many teen moms. We don't have a system where if they come into care, where they can come into care and be able to care for the kids that they have. So, like, if you're in a situation where you're, you have kids or you have a child and you come into care because you're home or you're young and your home is not, your parents aren't taking care of you, they aren't taking care of the kid. Unless you get a foster home that takes you and your baby, right. There's nowhere for us to be able to say, here's a mom who has no support system, because clearly she doesn't have a support system. She's in care with us, who has the ability to be able to care for herself and have a system that can help her care and learn what she needs to learn for her kids. And so that's why I circled back around to it and was like, look at God still whispering in my ear. You remember that one vision I gave you? Mm-hmm. So that's where, like, I circle back around to it. And we do have the nonprofit. I renew it every year. We just got it last year, so let me not make it sound like I done had it for 10 years and sat on top of it. Uh-huh. But I just haven't, like, so what we did was we applied for a grant last year and got that no. And didn't stop, but both of us kind of got really busy after that because it took a lot of work to apply for that grant. Uh-huh. So we put in all this work to apply for the grant. If it was easy,
would you appreciate it?
No, I wouldn't, and I don't need it to be easy. Yeah. It just was so time consuming, and then my partner at the time ended up getting a promotion and getting a job, and it just kind of took her away. So then it would have just left me to have to do it all by myself, and then we started the podcast, and just other things have just kind of worked. I have never forgotten it, so I still pray about it. Uh-huh. I do. It's still one of those things that I'm like, God, when you give me, this resource. Yeah. And I get this money so I can fund my nonprofit, because this is like, I always think about that when it comes to the podcast. When we do things and we get big, or like even when we were in Miami and we were talking to them about, like, they have like what's called like a Shark Tank. Yeah. Like, I've thought about that and I've gone and re-looked at that stuff like, I could do the Shark Tank because maybe I could get an investor for the nonprofit through that process. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of just sitting down to do it. Because like you said, that hour a week. So if I could take that, if I found some time in that hour and just stopped and kind of invested in it more.
And you have a why.
Right.
You have a why. Your why is, I can remember going through that hard time with my baby to where I wasn't there for her. And I don't want no woman to feel like that.
Right.
So this is my why. This is what's going to push me to dedicate that 1 hour a day to making this a reality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we can speak on the retirement and all that from your job. But what if God put that in your place to say in a year from now, because you bust your butt every day, and I know you want this, I see you working for this, I'm going to make this your reality. And guess what? Financially, you ain't going to have to worry about nothing, because I'm going to put people around you and a circle around you to where you're going to be able to live how you want to live. That's when I think about faith and the belief of God and how powerful we really want things to pan out, that's what I think about. Like, exactly. So when you say I dream big, like, if I told you some of my dreams, you'd be like, woo! Ooh, good Lord.
I probably wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
I probably wouldn't, because I dream real big. I mean, and I know I step out, I'll be going for the gusto.
Yeah.
Give me, I mean, and I've always been that person. I've always dreamed really big. Like, even when it comes to the podcast, I know they be like Capri.
But but just imagine, like, whether you believe it or not, he's putting things in order for you to reach those goals, even with the podcast.
That's true.
Right.
You don't know who this might reach.
Right.
Yes.
You
And
know
the
what I'm
thing
saying?
is, it reaches a lot of different people. So that's the
That
other
we
part
wouldn't
that we
expect it.
wouldn't expect to reach it.
Yeah.
Like, to reach. So that is crazy that you say that, because it is that space where, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know, like, how we got this person.
Yeah.
Or, like, hold on, I'm just sitting. Somebody asked, so I was sitting with one of my cousins this week, and we started talking about, like, he asked me how we walked into the podcast. So I'm telling him about the podcast, and he says, so we're recording on Sunday, and he says, who are y'all? So I said, we have a guest, and he was like, who's your guest? And so I said, oh, it's Melvin. He has a nutrition bar. He was like, oh, yeah, I know Melvin.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He was like, so how did you? I said, literally taking my son to get a haircut.
Yeah.
I literally was just standing in the barbershop, getting my son a haircut, and then we started talking, and then I was like, oh, well, come on, sure, you know, we'll bring you on, you know, and that's just kind of how it works. So I do know that there are avenues. I think sometimes what happens for me is I get caught up in life. She over there eating. Did you go eat?
Yeah, she
I
did.
just ate a chicken wing.
So,
Wow.
yeah, first of all, y'all need to know something. Because she does this, like, every recording.
They know.
And then she be looking at us and be talking about, we talk about it.
And
Y'all
she
always-
sneaked in here. You should see how she sneaked in here.
Hold
She
on.
been gone forever.
Hold on,
She
Melvin,
always
hold on.
said.
Yesterday, it was a whole gallon of water.
Uh-huh.
Like, where did you just leave and come back with a gallon of
It was
water
in my
from?
room. I like water.
That's good.
So
I love
she does
water.
that. So she does these, like, random things.
She
And then
come
look
back
at
and
us like when we like, well, where did this come from? And then she gets mad. They just attack me. No,
But
you
I'm
just
just
do
home
really
now.
weird stuff.
It's not
You
weird.
came back sucking your teeth and you looking at us like
Because I got chicken.
But it's our fault. It's our fault when we say
she
something
looked
to
at
her.
us.
Like,
she looked at us like, what is
She
you?
gonna say, you see how they do me?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see
He
how
did
they
you
do
just the
you.
same.
Exactly, right?
I
She
see how
came
they
down
do
sucking
you.
her teeth and everything, looking at us crazy.
Nah, I got him to go close the blinds. That's
And
what
then
I
ended
did.
up
And I
in
ended
a
up in the
chicken.
kitchen.
Okay. It's okay, Dante.
It's okay, Dante.
I had to get them while I can get them because, yesterday,
You ain't gonna get none because
They
baby, they
killed
go. Hold on, they left
Yeah.
her folk behind. That's okay. She
4
said,
wings yesterday.
That's enough, ain't it?
no, that ain't enough.
No,
6
they
wings.
love
You need 6 wings by them. If you gonna eat
I only
wings,
get it for
Oh my
4.
goodness, here y'all go.
he like y'all in this and y'all's
I don't
horrible,
eat that many, though.
eating habits. First of all, if
It's
I'm
wings
gonna,
They bad.
They
Yeah,
bake.
they
They're
bake.
baked.
yeah.
Yeah,
But you know what? If I'm gonna eat something, I'm gonna go all out.
See, y'all complain, look, talking about me. Oh, Mika picky. I don't want no hamburger. I don't want no fries. Look at y'all.
First of all, she can't.
Good job.
No, wherever we go, it don't matter. Don't do that.
I don't
Wherever
eat
we
that.
go,
I don't
she
eat
don't.
that.
She don't eat
I don't
nothing.
eat hamburgers and fries
So,
and
like,
chicken strips.
We
I don't.
we walking. We trying to figure out. We
They want me
usually
to go
try
to
to
Five
tailor.
Guys. There go Five Guys. I don't eat hamburger and fries. I don't want that.
We only had 2 options. We
I
had
know, but I
Fun, we
didn't-
had Five Guys.
I don't
I know
eat
we had
pho. I don't
McAllister.
eat
She didn't
pho.
eat that either.
I don't eat sandwiches like the bread.
But they
and
had
stuff.
salads.
I do eat salad. I just didn't, I made it work.
You sound like you need to be drinking Herbalife shakes then.
Well, I will.
He makes some really good shakes. I actually came up there one morning, but you weren't there.
That's probably possible.
So tell us
Somebody else was there.
about it. Like, so if somebody wants to find you, since we at the end, we probably start wrapping up a little bit.
So, I am on the east side of Oklahoma City. We're located 1309 Northeast 23rd between Lottie and Prospect on 23rd. So if y'all know where that Church's Chicken is, I hate to give that as a landmark. But,
so go to Church's Chicken and get your shakeout.
past Church's Chicken. And we sit in a blue building off the road toward the back. Like I said, 1309 Northeast 23rd. I personally take phone calls from people because my number is on the Google website and everything. So people call me all the time.
So what are some of your services?
So we offer, of course, the shake and the tea. The shake is going to keep you full anywhere from 2.5, 3 hours. So we get a lot of clients that don't eat breakfast. I feel like breakfast is very important to kickstart your day. That's probably why you're praying every time you go in the day. Stomach hurting. But the shake's going to keep you full anywhere from 2.5, 3 hours. And it's delicious, guys. I'm telling you, like, you wouldn't think healthy tastes this good. And so that's a meal replacement. And then, of course, after that, we give what's called an energized tea. And the tea is going to boost your metabolism. It's going to burn some calories, anywhere from 90 to 100 calories per serving. It's burning. So it's like you're getting a workout without having to work out. But it makes you feel amazing. Other than drinking, energy drinks or coffee, that's normally people's pick-me-up.
Right.
And that's not a safe pick-me-up. That's going to eventually hurt you, especially when you talk about them energy drinks, because it starts affecting your heart. But the shakes and the tea, that's what we offer in-house. And then, of course, I do workouts. I do the workouts on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. And that's normally CP time. I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I got some colored people that don't know how to show up at 6:30. But we have a good time. We have a good time. My whole thought process is, I know for some people, making that dedicated time to come work out can be stressful within itself. So if you need to bring your kids, we'll put them over there on the couch. Y'all get their iPad or whatever they need to do and sit them over there. You ain't got no excuse not to bring them. I don't care. I've had people in there with newborn kids. Bring the stroller, sit them over there. Like, we going to make this work for you. We going to make this work for you. And I feel like me, myself, and my personality, I'm a great host. And I make it as comfortable as possible. I treat nobody like a stranger. When you come through that door, the personality that you're going to get is me. 100%, and I like that, because I feel like we got so much negativity in the world already. So I want people to feel like they can come somewhere and they know it's going to be positive.
So I'm going to feel some kind of way, because we're not going to get you for too long. So when they come through that door, starting at the end.
So I duplicate who I am.
Okay.
I duplicate who I am. You're not going to be working at my facility if you don't have the same type of energy.
Okay.
Now, everybody is a work in progress.
Right.
So we understand, the images that I want to portray when people coming in there, especially in our culture, is we can talk to one another. We can be friendly with one another, especially y'all women, because y'all can be catty at times. And y'all look sideways at another woman. But I want I tell you, when them women come in there, they don't know half of the women that's in there. And by the time week 1 passed, they all friends. They all talking to one another. They all got something in common, whether it's we raising our kids and we dealing with this struggle or that struggle. And that's what I like. I like when they eliminate me out the picture and they can convert amongst each other. And it's like, okay, Melvin brought us together, and now this is one of my homegirls. Like, I like that about us. So
nice.
To be able to have that platform, and when I say y'all, I'm so grateful to be who I am and comfortable with who I am, and understanding that God's purpose for me is to be a giver. Like, that's...
So how did you find your purpose? I meant to ask you that. Like, how did you know this was your purpose?
I was in the oil field for 10 years prior to Herbalife. And I was making great money, like real good money. But I always wanted to be a father. And that was like one of my passions. I love kids, and I knew my circumstances coming up and what I wanted to provide for my kids. So when I was in the oil field, I had no time freedom. Like, I literally would work 14 to 16 hours a day, 8 days a week, and it ain't even 8 days in a week. And I would be out for 2.5, maybe 3, and come back out and do the same thing. And like I said, I was making great money, but I was like, it's got to be something better than this. Like, I don't like being here every day. So when I had my kids, that was that switch that turned it over. And the crazy thing about it was, I wasn't going to even quit the oil field. God pushed me out the oil field. He laid me off, and I could have easily went into another job, doing the same thing, because that's what oil people do. They go from one company to the next. Whenever lay off, they go to the next. Mm-hmm. And I can remember the day where they called us. It was 80 guys in this room, grown men in this room, and they telling us that we ain't got no job no more. And I'm talking about dudes in there crying, because they knew, like, this is my end all to be all for most of them. And I'm not in there just smiling. And they looking at me going, what is going on with this dude? But I knew, like, I don't even know how I knew it. It was always in me for a long time. But it was like, man, something is better out there for me. And I ain't even applied for another oil field job. I just knew something was better out there for me. So I met some guys. I always did Herbalife, never really pursued it in that manner. But one person changed my whole outcome of how I was always a giver. I think naturally Virgos, we are givers, and sometimes we give too much. But I was naturally a giver. Look, they jealous. It's okay.
I'm glad somebody knows.
Hey, she came around with the candles because she said, "Girl, you are so thankful." And
yes.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
It was my favorite one, too, by the way.
So, I was always a giver, and I was like, man, like, what am I good at other than giving people whatever I might give them? In my time, I thought it was financial. If I can help somebody out financial, I'm good. So I had the money, so I would always do family members giving money and whatever. And you become a crush to people when you do that in so many aspects. But I helped my cousin down in Dallas. He was my first real client who I took serious, and he lost over 125 pounds. But what changed him is what made me say, I want to do this forever. Because this dude, you know, we grew up in a household where, you know, communicating our feelings as black men, it was almost taboo. You really didn't talk about it. You had to be tough. You had to show this level of toughness about yourself just to survive in our neighborhoods at times. So growing up in that environment, when we became adults, he went off and started driving trucks, and we never really had that communication anymore. And we was close as cousins growing up. So I went to Dallas probably about 3 or 4 months after I was doing Herbalife. And I had got a semi-result because I was never no big dude, but I started feeling better. So I told him, I saw him, and he gained a lot of weight. He was like 325 pounds. And I was like, dude, what is going on with you? And I could tell just by the personal development I had did in that short span of time that he was depressed. And we don't talk about depression in our households. So I went down there, saw him, saw all this weight on him, and I said, hey, man, I don't know if you want to do this or not, but I just started doing this Herbalife stuff. And when I be going to these meetings, people be talking about they losing all this weight. I ain't really lost a lot of weight. I only lost like 15 pounds, and that's not a lot probably to you, but for me, that was cool enough. But I want you to try it. My cousin, we hadn't talked in years. My cousin, he was calling me every day, wanting to learn about this product. So it's challenged me to want to learn more, because now I got to pass it on to him. So I'm learning as he's learning, and he was helping me, not even knowing he was helping me, but I was helping him. And 8 months into it, he called me, and I ain't see him. I'm just hoping that he's doing the product, really.
Sending it to him.
Yeah, sending it to him. I'm just sending it to him. I ain't really seeing him. He ain't sending me no pictures or nothing. He called me. He said, man, he's like, man, when I first started this, I remember I couldn't even walk a half a mile. He said, dude, I ran 5 miles yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I said,
Oh,
what?
wow.
5 miles.
I said, what are you doing?
What you on?
I said, you just doing the Herbalife stuff? He was like, man, I be feeling good. He was like, I wanted to send you my pictures. And I was like, send me the pictures. When he saw me the pictures, I ain't even recognize my cousin no more.
Wow.
Like, he was but his conversation was different. Because he was real standoffish quiet. And he was just talking and wouldn't shut up. And I'm like, this dude is really changing. But what got me was his wife called me and she said, man, I really want to thank you. She said, because we finna get a divorce. She was like, all he did was go to work, come home, watch SportsCenter, drink, eat, and sit in front of the TV and go sleep and do it again. And he thought that was being a husband. He didn't spend time with the kids. We didn't do no date nights, none of that stuff. And she was like, I was getting tired of it. She was like, but you coming into his life has really changed him because you've really challenged and pushed him to be a better him. And he ain't never had nobody, my cousin grew up, his daddy wasn't around, my aunt died when we was like 12 years old, so parent-wise, he didn't really have that structure. So she was like, you really challenged him to become a better him. And she's like, I want to thank you for that. And she was crying on the phone and everything. Had me in tears. And I'm like, this is what I want to do.
That's
Like,
awesome.
I want to
awesome.
change people's lives like this.
That's awesome.
And from there, I was just like, okay. But I had to deal with a lot of no's, a lot of people who didn't want their life changed. And I always tell people that come into this business, because they're like, I'm tired of people telling me no. You know, you got to love people where they are. Because everybody might not be ready for that change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So true.
But I always leave the door of opportunity opening. Because I've had clients who saw me from 2013 when I first started this to now will hit me up and be like, man, bro, you still doing that stuff? Man, I've been watching you, man. You stay consistent with it. You've been doing it forever. Like, I think I need to get on there. Bro, I got you. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see you get better. It ain't about me fattening my pockets or turning this to a multi-million business. God go bless me regardless. He and I already blessed me.
Right.
So you come on over and let it change your life. And I tell people all the time, because everybody, well, you Herbalife. No, I'm health. I'm health and wellness. Like, I want people to do Herbalife because I do Herbalife, but however you get healthy because it's important. Hands down. I don't care if you eat. If you balanced enough to say I'm going to cook 3 meals every day and it ain't going to be Herbalife, but I'm going to make sure I'm staying healthy, by all means do it.
Sure.
And teach somebody else how to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we got that crowds in a barrel mentality. If we start pulling each other up out of that barrel, sky's the limit.
Right.
True. Oh,
That's so
gosh.
true.
Oh my
Sky's the
God.
limit.
Yeah.
So that's what caused me to my purpose. Him. My
That's
cousin.
what's up.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
It is.
It's nice. So people can find you where?
You can get me on social media. My Instagram is Mr. VIP. Don't judge me.
I mean,
It's Mr. VIP _ MEL, male. Or you can get me on Facebook and it's just Melvin Johnson. And then of course I have my Maximum Nutrition Facebook page. People can always get on there. But I'm very personable. I feel like anybody can reach out and touch me. My cell phone number is 405-628-2311. I'm just real as I feel like I can be with people, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I can get along with anybody. I don't like enemies. I don't like negativity. So if that's what you're calling for, I'm going to probably hang up in your face and keep it moving, you know? And that's it in a nutshell.
well, look at you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate
Yes, thank
y'all.
you for coming on.
I appreciate
We
y'all.
weren't sure.
This is a totally different Melvin from 20 years ago.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I was just telling somebody, I said, because somebody else came in there and they knew me from Douglas. It was like, matter of fact, Pia.
Oh, okay.
Pia was like, Melvin, you weren't like this in school. I said, nobody knew me in school because I was just super quiet. I said, you know, Herbalife has really given me the platform to get people to come in and see me and then interact because they're like, hey, I didn't even know you talked. I'm like, yeah, man, and I'm pretty cool. So you come in and get to know me, you'll figure out the same thing. So,
Right.
you know, just like anybody, I have my struggles. I have my day-to-day in up and down. But for the most part, I try to keep a positive attitude. And, you know, I give everybody an opportunity to grow. Because, you know, as a youngster, we all made mistakes. We all act a certain way, did things we ain't proud of. But it's about the growth.
Very
Are
true.
you willing to grow?
That's
you
what's
know what I'm
up.
saying? And I've grown, and I'm going to continue to grow.
Grow to be
Yeah,
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, thank you. Thank you. Like I told, I was telling them, like, the way we ran into each other
Yeah.
was just kind of like happened to happen. So, I mean, I don't know. Destiny, maybe?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and sharing our platform with us.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Like I said, the city going to be like, oh, y'all just got everybody.
I thought Melvin was going to bring some shakes for us to try.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I got y'all next time.
Okay.
Matter of fact, tomorrow when we go to the thing, I'm gonna bring y'all some shit.
You
Are you going to come?
I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna come up there.
That's what's up.
Okay,
That's what's
that's
up.
what's up.
So this is the thing. I drink, and you gonna look at me like, so you drink this every day, and then you don't come over here. So I didn't think about that, but I drink a smoothie every morning.
Bless her heart. What you drink? I'm not getting it.
I just need something good. I'm fine with what you bring. I'm willing and I'm ready to try.
Right,
it.
right,
Maybe I can
Flavor
start.
wise, are you
Flavor-wise,
allergic to anything?
no.
Okay.
Just don't do bananas.
Do you like butter pecan ice cream?
Oh yes.
I got you.
Don't bring me
You
nothing
like
but
butter pecan? I got you.
Yeah.
cookies and cream.
No, that's too basic. I don't like basic stuff. Do you like Butterfinger?
Yeah.
She got offended, y'all.
Why she said I'm hard?
Because the way he said it, he kind of blew me off. He was like, I don't like that's basic. Oh.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
I do like Butterfinger though, but
I
you
got
know,
Let's go. I can't wait to try it.
I'll take
I
it.
got
Can't
you.
wait.
I got you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So, tomorrow we will be live.
Oh,
This is gonna air after that, but you know, we'll be able to kind of tell you a little bit about how going live looks and what it feels like.
Yes.
We're gonna
Let's
record it though, so we're gonna record it and post it.
Have y'all did a Facebook post?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've been doing
Okay.
Facebook posts.
Facebook,
now.
Instagram.
Tag me so I can share it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wanna if you
You
want
want
to
to take a picture too before
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
leave.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. So, you guys know how you can get in contact with us. We're on Instagram. I changed the name today. It's
Okay.
Instagram is at Mocha Tea Podcast, all one word. We are on Facebook, Mocha Tea Podcast, and Mocha Tea is all together.
Yeah.
And then you got the space in podcast. And then we are on Twitter, Mocha Tea Podcast. You guys can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast. There you go. I always want to say Apple iPod because I
Yeah.
guess it's just kind of natural. Anyway,
Yeah.
but it's the Apple Podcast app. We are on YouTube, Anchor, and SoundCloud. We post a new episode every Sunday. But you guys can always go back and re-listen to us on those apps. Make sure to download the apps if you don't have them. And then we are on Seattle Hip Hop Radio every Monday and Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and throughout the week. So go listen to that app. Download the app on your phone. Listen to the app because he's got more than us on there. He's got music. He's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And you may catch an additional episode of us on there, just surprisingly, if you're listening. Who knows? Anyway, and then if you want to go old school and just send us an inquiry, we are on mochatea2018@gmail.com, and we are out.